all of this now. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's very good. Yeah, this is a very bait and punishy type of matchup, I think. Both of them have the ground mobility. Neither of them want to be the one to whip first, so you're going to eat something hard easily.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dash attack's going to be a big play in this
Right.
matchup.
Roy a little more aerial presence than Greninja, but Greninja has the disjoints to deal with that. And, you know, dash attack is just huge.
Yeah, so, I mean, from personal experience, I know that Turrin is very patient Roy compared to what you might expect from most, which I think does work for him in terms of, like, breaking expectations from when people are like, oh, Roy, like, it's about to, we're just going to throw hands for
Right,
3 minutes,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, he comes from Smash 4, and I think he hasn't really left that playstyle. Because, you know, we're always fucking trash in that
Yeah,
game.
a much more patient meta than Smash 4 for the
Yeah.
most part.
So I kind of followed him, but, you know, it works out. And I think in this matchup, it'll help him if he's able to get Brozac off of him. But right now, it looks like Brozac's doing a pretty good job with the aggressiveness.
As he said, does Brozac take any inspiration from Capside, one of your PR players up in Bellingham, who mains Greninja?
I haven't heard him specifically say he does, but I'd be pretty surprised to have, you know, a state PR level Greninja in your region and not watch him at all.
Yeah, yeah. But in terms of like kind of bait and punish playstyle as to what we were expecting, oh, the Trump?
Yeah, he's been really good at those. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's what I meant by that Roy aerial presence. Greninja doesn't really want to be, you know, right by Roy in the air. You just eat a hard back air or something like that.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Alright, I mean, keeping things interesting here, immediately bringing things back to a 2-stock game apiece.
You were already on track.
no, I mean, later. Top 8 Tricoms?
Yeah. He needs that.
Yeah, I would say Brozac really likes the, he's a full hopper Greninja, you know, full hop, back air, run away, that kind of playstyle.
Yeah. And being able to like full hop so high and then just jumping in for mix-ups like really catches people off guard, because with that full hop height, it's nothing like most of the characters have, essentially, when it comes to the toolkit.
Right.
Oh, no JR though.
Yeah.
Turrin's doing a great job just, you know, calming down this aggressiveness from Brozac. Usually he's in your face at all times.
Yeah, it does feel like Brozac is a little bit more of an aggressive
Yeah,
nature.
he looks good.
Nice, there you go. That's a great edge guard.
They both got one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like hard punishes, they were down bad when it comes to percent, but
Look there.
gets the stock lead.
You know, with this kind of percent deficit, I'd really like Brozac to dial it back a little bit here. You really want to get some chip damage in so you can come into that last stock with like a nice like 50% lead or something.
Yeah.
You don't want to instantly feed into a Roy aerial, which is exactly what he's doing here.
Yeah,
Oh,
Some good feedback and very reminiscent of Western Watch gameplay.
yeah, for
So
sure.
pressing that advantage by just playing a little more patient, making sure you get a little that chip damage.
If you bought in Western Washington, you are going to have a really bad time.
Right, I mean, Turrin definitely has a ton in his toolkit in order to be able to seal the second stock off
Yeah.
Brozac, but
Oh, that idea with the rage.
Nice.
Whoa.
Got it.
Yeah.
contests the landing. Able to seal it out there. You can do after your 1 minute of coaching. Alright, but they're taking their 1 minute to get some insight from their players. As per the usual, we see both of them kind of just step away from each other, create that space so they don't hear each other's coaching. But Brozac's stealing that first game out, which is pressing the advantage state of having that last stock lead, right? And kind of just pressuring Turrin in what might seem as the situation that would be, I mean, very committal, right? Like going so high on the screen to try to finish out a punish. But with a stock lead, you can do stuff like that, and ended up taking a very, very early stock off of Turrin there with the Greninja up air stream. But man, does a minute go fast? We already have 45 seconds down on this 1 minute of coaching in between games. This is the standard for today's tournament, with it being an Arcadian with coaching. They get 1 minute in between games to coach their players, give as much feedback as possible, and it's led to some really cool results. But just with that, there's the timer. That is the 1 minute of coaching over, and we will continue on with the set here now that that 1 minute is over with. So game 2 now between Turrin and Brozac. I'm sure it felt good to give their players some insight, maybe some affirmations, and
Always down to help, baby. Always down to help.
situational awareness maybe might have been on the forefront of their minds, but
Why is everybody saying gold split?
I don't know.
That's Bellinghammer's too. Is there a meme I don't know about?
Wait, gentlemen, the coach is playing. I'd be okay with being down
I know.
0-1.
You should be able to sub in your coach like for one game, the entire bracket.
I mean,
That'd be really,
yeah.
really fun.
Actually.
You should be able to sub in your coach, but you have to play their characters.
Oh,
Oh, that'd be
weird.
sad, actually.
That'd
Yeah,
The
that'd be
draft would have been a lot different for me if that was the
Yeah,
case.
yeah.
Absolutely.
definitely would have picked the jigs. I know that for a fact.
So in terms of like type of feedback you gave your players, just generalizing, so you don't give up. I mean, this goes to like game 3, but
Yeah.
like, did you elect? Did either of you elect to give like a bunch of information to your player, or like kind of try to keep things concise and pivotal?
I think concise is better.
Yeah.
I think like for the pre-tournament coaching, I like to be more big picture about their play. For the mid-set coaching, I like to point to specific situations, specific things their opponent is doing, and
Yeah.
point those out. Like my goal is just to win this next game with what I'm talking to them about here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think little bits of knowledge here and there is very good. I usually go for about like 3 different tips or advices when it came to the set, or like what happened or how they can approach it differently.
Mhm.
But it's also good to just give, moral support too is important.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, keeping up that confidence. Confidence is such a big thing in Smash Bros.
Mental
Like,
humongous, yeah.
yeah,
Well, you
might
can
get
see
that ego on Wi-Fi, but like you
Yeah.
come in and get washed, and you're like the ego drops, and you're like, I cannot play this game competitively.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a lot of players who are like I've seen that are like friendly as monsters, but they just can't get it done in bracket because of the
Exactly.
mental. It's really
Yeah.
big to try to keep those up.
absolutely.
Yeah, Turrin's round 1, he wasn't very confident in his play, and I told him, like, dude, you had the right idea, you just doubt yourself. You got to go with your gut instinct and, just go all in, double down.
I mean, obviously him being here obviously turned it up from there, right?
Yeah,
That worked
exactly,
out.
yeah.
So yeah, that's a big thing.
He seems to be a slower starter, but he definitely adapts, for sure. Nice, that was a great
Wow.
confirm.
That's a Carter classic. Carter loves going for that confirm at that percent.
That's super nice to have too with big blast zones like Battlefield, right? Like we're expecting survivability for both players to look a little bit longer, but
Right.
that's still getting out pretty early.
Yeah, I do like what Turrin's doing with the platform so far this game. Obviously he lost the first stock, but he's getting a lot of hits in on these Battlefield platforms.
Dude, Brozac got a lot of fans.
Bellingham comes out for each other. I'll say that at the beginning.
Yeah, I was
Nice,
just gonna
good
say he
shield
needs the
hold.
side view from ledge.
That's something I told Brozac to worry about. I was like, don't get baited by that. Like, wait after the third swing on the
Right.
side B.
I also told him after, like, the second one, just dip out. But, sometimes you mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. Same thing with Cloud, right?
Yeah.
You sometimes end after the second cross slash. Sometimes you send it.
Yeah, you're just like, you send it, or sometimes you just dip.
It's a coin flip sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Battlefield is an interesting stage in this game. I was a melee player for a long time, and platforms in melee definitely feel like more of an extension of the movement, while in Ultimate they almost feel like obstacles a little bit.
And this matchup's rough because Greninja's fairly good against sword characters.
Yeah.
Sword characters have trouble landing, and that's Greninja's punish on landing is
He's
just
just
so
waiting
crazy.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so crazy. But Brozac's doing great, man.
Yeah, Brozac's play is very clean here. Wow, that was
Yeah.
weird. Did he armor?
I did.
That was weird.
I think it's like,
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
what the?
I played him on Tuesday. He's sharp. He's definitely good.
It can be hard to know how to DI this sometimes because if they hit you with a down tilt or another like combo starter, you want to DI out so you don't get up smash.
Right.
But sometimes they just send the forward smash.
Yeah, very, very, very quick game.